Life without Juma was hard. Money disappeared quickly. Rent, food, school fees, everything felt like a wall with no door. Still, Zawadi pushed herself in school. She studied under kerosene light. She walked long distances when there was no fare. She skipped meals when she had to. When she got her university acceptance letter, she ran home breathless. "Mom, I got in. I actually got in." Chuki took the letter, read it slowly, then dropped it on the table. "So what?" she said. "You think you're the first person from this family to go to school? Education didn't save the rest of them. At your age, you should be in your husband's house. Shame." But she didn't stop her from going. She didn't help either. She simply watched her struggle, never once saying she was proud. At university, Zawadi met her first boyfriend, Kelvin. He was kind, attentive, then stubborn about seeing her even when she tried to distance herself. One holiday, he came home to visit. He brought shopping. He greeted Chuki respectfully. He helped with chairs as neighbors drifted in. Zawadi thought, maybe this is safe. Maybe she'll behave. That evening, while Zawadi was in the kitchen washing plates, Chuki sat with Kelvin on the veranda. "Let me ask you something," she began, voice low. "Did my daughter tell you she has a child?" Kelvin frowned. "A child?" "No, she doesn't." Chuki sighed dramatically. "Oh. So she lied again. Typical. She aborted and lost and aborted until finally one survived. There is a child in the village. People talk. You will hear." Kelvin's face drained. "And another thing," Chuki continued, as if discussing the weather, "don't leave her alone too long. She sleeps around. Even with her own father she was too close. We all saw it. The way he favored her. Men are weak. She knows how to use that." She laughed lightly and patted his arm. "Anyway, you're a man. Just be careful." Kelvin left early the next morning and never came back. He blocked Zawadi everywhere. Zawadi never knew why. She just added him to the quiet graveyard in her heart where other good things had gone to die. This didn't happen once. With the next man, when he came to visit, Chuki said, "Be careful with my daughter. She has been with almost every boy in that campus. You know these girls of nowadays. She will embarrass you." He grew distant and disappeared. With the one after, she told him, "She doesn't respect men. She told me she's only with you for money. She laughs at you behind your back and says you are too primitive and backward." He stopped answering calls. Zawadi started to believe maybe she was cursed, like her mother said. That every good thing would leave. She didn't know the common factor sat in her mother's mouth. But the worst betrayal in those years wasn't the boyfriends she lost. It was the stories her mother created when she realized normal sabotage wasn't enough. One afternoon during university holidays, Zawadi returned from the market to find her mother sitting outside with 3 village women, talking in that soft, poisonous tone she used when she wanted her lies to grow legs. Chuki was saying, "My daughter is strong, I thank God. Not many girls survive what she has." Zawadi froze at the gate. "What's that?" one woman asked eagerly. "What happened?" Chuki lowered her eyes like a grieving saint. These days children hide things. But you people, don't be surprised if you hear she has the big disease." Silence fell. One woman gasped. Another covered her mouth. Zawadi felt her knees weaken. Chuki continued, sounding almost proud. "She won't tell you, but I know. Even the doctor said she must stop sleeping around. When a girl has venereal diseases, she should calm down. But Zawadi. She thinks she is smarter than God." The women shook their heads in sympathy. "Zawadi. That beautiful one. She doesn't look sick. Chuki smiled bitterly. Disease doesn't always show. You know these girls. Today they look fresh, tomorrow are gone. Zawadi stared at her mother, unable to speak. Later, when the women left, she asked quietly, "Mom, why would you say that?" Chuki shrugged. "People talk. I'm only repeating what I hear. But it's not true." She laughed softly. "Truth, lies, it doesn't matter. Life will humble you." It took Zawadi months to face the market again. The stares were different. Pity mixed with curiosity. Whispers followed her like a shadow. It was her first taste of how far her mother was willing to go just to bruise her reputation. During her final year at university, Zawadi dated a man named Brian, a charming, smiling man who treated her like the world was finally soft again. He visited the village 3 times. By the second visit, he was calling Chuki Mama. By the third, he was sitting on the veranda laughing with her like family. Zawadi thought she had finally found peace. But peace, in her mother's house, always arrived wounded. One Friday evening, she walked into the sitting room and froze. Brian was sitting on the sofa. Her mother was beside him, too close. Too comfortable. Laughing in a voice Zawadi had never heard her use before. Zawadi stepped back. "What's going on?" Both turned sharply. Brian stood up too fast, knocking over a cup. Chuki smoothed her skirt and said, "We were just talking. You relax. Not everything is a problem." But something in the room felt wrong. Thick breathing. Zawadi confronted Brian later. He denied everything. "Your mom is just friendly," he insisted. And she believed him because she wanted to. But the truth arrived 3 months later, carried by the village itself. At our wedding, an aunt pulled Zawadi aside and whispered, Have you heard?
Chuki is
Your mother
pregnant.
is pregnant." Zawadi laughed in disbelief. "Pregnant? With who?" The aunt bit her lip.
What?
"People are saying that
How?
boyfriend of yours." Zawadi felt the world tilt. Her breath left her body like someone had punched it out. She confronted her mother that night. "Are you pregnant?" Chuki didn't deny it. She just shrugged. "And if I am? You expect me to die lonely?" "And Brian?" "Men belong to whoever they choose," she said coldly. "Don't look at me like you own him." Zawadi cried until her throat hurt. A month later, Chuki miscarried. She blamed Zawadi. "You brought stress into my life," she said. "You killed my child." Zawadi forgave her. She didn't know why. Maybe because forgiveness was the only language she knew. Maybe because she still hoped her mother would wake up one day and love her. But a wound forgiven without healing only learns how to cut deeper. Despite everything, Zawadi graduated. She got her first corporate job in the city, nothing glamorous, but stable. She rented a small apartment. She learned how to stretch a salary. She learned how to carry herself with quiet confidence at work. She thought things would finally get easier. She was wrong. Her mother looked at her salary like it was a wound she wanted to press her thumb into. The requests started small. "Send me 500. I need shopping. My electricity is almost finished." But within months, the small requests turned into ultimatums. "You have a job. I didn't suffer for nothing. Do something for this family." Zawadi didn't argue. She sent what she could. But then the calls from strangers started coming. "Are you Zawadi? Your mother owes us money. She said you will pay. Your mother took a loan from our group. Deadline is today. She said her daughter in the city is responsible. Your mother destroyed someone's fence in an argument. You are the one to fix it. Zawadi's stomach twisted every time. She would walk out of meetings to take these calls, heart pounding, wondering what disaster waited next. What she didn't know was that Chuki had turned borrowing into a full-time lifestyle. In 1 month alone, she owed the women's charmer, 2 Shylocks, a shopkeeper, a landlord, and an elderly man she claimed was a close family friend, who Zawadi had never heard of before. And whenever Zawadi hesitated, even for a moment, Chuki's voice sharpened like a knife. You think you're better than us just because you sit in an office. If your father was alive, none of us would suffer. You and your big salary, what do you even use it for? Are you feeding gold? Then came the police calls. Your mother has been arrested for stealing a neighbor's chicken. She damaged someone's kiosk. She fought the landlord. She is accused of taking money for a land deal that doesn't exist. Every time, Zawadi boarded a bus, traveled overnight, and paid whatever fine was needed to get her mother released. One officer even told her quietly, "Your mother knows you will come. That's why she keeps doing this." Zawadi smiled weakly, pretending it didn't break her. But the worst was how Chuki used Zawadi's elder siblings as ammunition. Her older brother had dropped out of school. 2 sisters had married early and left because of difficult marriages. Instead of helping them, Chuki turned to the last born, the only one earning, and said, "You will take him back to school. Enroll him. Pay his. Who else do I have? Your sisters need help too. You are the lucky one, act like it." Zawadi stretched herself until she was drowning. She took loans. Then loans to pay those loans. Then digital loans when her phone buzzed with reminders she couldn't meet. Her salary disappeared the same day it arrived. Sometimes she ate once a day. Sometimes she couldn't afford fare and walked home. Sometimes she cried in toilet cubicles quietly so her colleagues wouldn't hear. And whenever she tried to say she was tired, Chuki snapped. "Tired? From what? Sitting in an office is not work. I carried you for 9 months. I'm the one who should be tired. Don't ever complain when I ask for help." But the breaking point came when her mother demanded, "I want a permanent house. I cannot live in iron sheets while my daughter is in the city. You humiliate me. Build for me. Or don't ever call me your mother." Zawadi looked at her bank account. She didn't have savings. She didn't even have stability. She had debt disguised as generosity. But the guilt in her chest was always stronger than her reality. So she tried. She sent what she could. Cut her own needs. Paid her siblings' school fees. Paid the loans. Paid the repairs. Paid the emergencies that weren't emergencies. Until she was financially broken and emotionally numb. And all that time, her mother never said thank you. Only, "Is that all? Send more. You should help me without question. It's your duty." Zawadi had no idea she was feeding a monster she would one day have to run from.